Priests with holy days, like parents with children, shouldn't have a favorite. But I do, and it's today. It's the festival of all the saints, one of the major feasts of the church year. It's right up there with Christmas and Easter and Pentecost. And I look forward to November the 1st every year. And perhaps it's my favorite because it's that annual celebration and remembrance of the great cloud of witnesses that encompasses us about at every breath. The festive recognition of the lives of the saints who have run the race before us and who have already received the crown of glory that never fades away. It is a holy day that reminds me that I am not alone. And in these days of distance during a pandemic, again with rising numbers, I welcome even more than usual the reminder of my place within the cosmic reality of saints who have walked this earth yesterday and millennia ago. I welcome the very real reminder that I exist within a context. I am but one in a very, very long line of believers who worships a living and loving God, who welcomes me to God's banqueting table and into God's loving and encompassing arms when this stage of my journey is over. And not only am I not alone in faith, but also I am surrounded with those who are already banqueting in union with the Creator. I am not alone, and I am so grateful for that reminder. In this pandemic of isolation that weighs heavily, I am never alone, and I need that reminder. There are a few Sundays in the lectionary when we get a reading from the Revelation to John, but this morning is one. It is a vision that John has, or folks writing as John have, of the martyrs of the faith. Drawn from every nation and robed in white, they wave palm branches and sing praises to the Lamb upon the throne. It is a powerful scene nestled within the horrors of the opening of the seals of the apocalypse, right after the sixth and penultimate seal opening and before the beginning of the war in heaven. And as best as we can tell it, it was writing meant to provide solace to the first century Christians facing persecution from a Roman Empire set on eradicating the troublesome but growing faithful sect. Christians for whom martyrdom was not only possible, but likely. And while we are unaccustomed in 21st century America to be called upon to die for our faith, we take inspiration from those convicted enough to lose their lives with faith in the resurrection, just as we take inspiration from those who have lived their lives patterned on the gospel of Christ, whose example lights the way for our own faith journey. Those people who believed enough in the God of love that they took to the Beatitudes in this morning's reading of Matthew to heart. The meek and those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, the merciful, the pure of heart, and the peacemakers. In a world of ugliness and insult, in a world that is the very opposite of peace, what a blessed oasis I find in these words. What promise of wholeness and quiet confidence instead of the fear and unrest that characterize the water in which we swim. What a glorious and peaceful respite Jesus promises in these words from the Sermon on the Mount. They are balm for my soul. They are salve on this holiest of days when we recall the faithful in every generation, when we welcome 4 of the newest Christians into our fold in baptism, and when we remember those who have gone to a greater light in the year that is now past. On this All Saints' Day, sisters and brothers among the faithful, remember the blessedness of Jesus' words in Matthew. My prayer this day is that we pattern our lives this week and always in the way of love that Jesus showed us, rejecting the base selfishness celebrated in our world and turning always turning into the joy of the resurrection and the life of selflessness and love, caring for those on the margins and remembering the saints who have run the race before us in righteousness and blessedness. As the hymn writer Lesbia Scott wrote in one of my favorite hymns, those saints of God, patient and brave and true, who toiled and fought and lived and died for the Lord they loved and knew. May we, on this holiest of days, feel especially that great cloud of witnesses that guides us still in the way of light and life, as close as our breath and as near as our heart. May we too, when it is our time, inherit the crown of glory that never fades away and join the great throng that praises God forever.